Hello, all my dear student friends. Welcome to this session. Today we will discuss about the Carnot cycle, which is a reversible cycle. So, before that, we already discussed previously that heat engine is a device which converts the heat supplied into mechanical work. But according to the Kelvin Planck statement of the second law of thermodynamics, all this heat cannot be converted into mechanical work. Some heat has to be rejected. Now, when some heat has to be rejected, we must try our level best to minimize this heat which is rejected, or we must try our level best to convert the maximum supplied heat into mechanical work. So, this conversion of maximum supplied heat into mechanical work is possible with the help of Carnot cycle. Our Carnot cycle is a cycle which will provide us the maximum conversion of the supplied heat into mechanical work. Although Carnot cycle is not a practical cycle, it is a theoretical cycle, it is a reversible cycle, but still we are studying the Carnot cycle, we are following the Carnot cycle. The reason is that it is a reference standard. Whatever practical cycles we are using, we can make these practical cycles as close as possible to the Carnot cycle. Even though Carnot cycle is not giving us 100% efficiency or 100% performance, or Carnot cycle is also not giving 100% conversion of heat into mechanical work, but Carnot cycle is giving us the maximum possible conversion of supplied heat into mechanical work. Therefore, if the practical cycle is close to Carnot cycle, then its performance will be good, because the performance of Carnot cycle is maximum, and if the practical cycle is close to the Carnot cycle, then the performance of the practical cycle will also be very close to the Carnot cycle. That means the performance will be a good performance, the efficiency will be good. So therefore we are studying the Carnot cycle. So let us study the Carnot cycle. First of all, we will try to study the Carnot cycle with the help of the PV diagram and the TS diagram. Let us study the Carnot cycle with the help of PV diagram and TS diagram. So here the TS diagram is already drawn, but we are going to draw the PV diagram, and this cycle consists of 4 processes: process 1 2, 2 3, 3 4 and 4 1. So let us see one by one what are these 4 processes: 1 2, 2 3, 3 4 and 4 1. So first of all, we should know what is a process. Process is nothing but the change of state from, say, point 1 to point 2 or point 2 to point 3. Whenever the state of a system is changed, whenever the condition of the working substance is changed, then we say that the working substance has undergone a process. Now, what is the state or condition? The state or condition of a substance is defined by the set of properties of that particular substance at that point or at that moment. So this can be defined by some point on the diagram, maybe PV diagram or TS diagram or something like that. For example, here you can see the point 1. At point 1, the working substance is having some value of pressure, say P1, and some value of volume V1, some value of temperature T1, some value of entropy S1, and so on. So all these set of properties come together to define the state or condition of the working substance. So whenever the condition or state of the working substance is changed, then we say that the working substance has undergone a process. Now, what is a cycle? A cycle is nothing but a set of processes, a group of processes in a particular sequence, such that the initial condition of the first process and the final condition of the last process is same. Now, in this process, in this cycle, you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, this is a cycle. So, first process is 1, 2 and the initial condition is point 1. The last process is 4, 1 and the final condition, final state of the last process 4, 1 is also point 1. That means this is a cycle. These 4 processes 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4 and 4, 1, they come together so that we get one cycle, and here in this case this cycle is nothing but the Carnot cycle. So let us study the various processes in the Carnot cycle. So first of all, process 1, 2. So process 1, 2 is nothing but reversible isothermal heat addition to the working substance. The working substance is absorbing the heat. Heat is supplied to the working substance at constant temperature. Isothermal means temperature is constant. So if you look at the TS diagram, you will find that on the TS diagram, the point 1 and point 2, these are joined by a horizontal line and the temperature is plotted on the y-axis. That means the temperature at point 1 and temperature at point 2 is same. That means the process 1, 2 is a isothermal process. So process 1, 2 is a isothermal process of heat absorption by the working substance. And now let us go to study the process 2, 3. What is process 2, 3? So the process 2, 3 is adiabatic isentropic expansion of the working substance. So during the process 2, 3, you will find that the pressure is reduced, the volume is increased, so that is expansion. If you look at the TS diagram, you will find that this 2, 3 line is a vertical line and the entropy S is plotted on the x-axis. That means the entropy remains constant. It means that the process 2, 3 is isentropic process, or it is also called as the adiabatic process, because during this process there is no transfer of heat, there is no exchange of heat. Therefore it is also called as the adiabatic process, though it is a reversible process also. Since Carnot cycle itself is a reversible cycle, all the processes in the Carnot cycle are reversible processes. Now come to the process 3, 4. So this process 3, 4, as you can see, is nothing but reversible isothermal heat absorption by the working substance. The working substance is absorbing the heat from the surrounding, right? And this takes place at constant temperature. So at constant temperature, the working substance is absorbing the heat. Now the last process, that is the process 4, 1. The process 4, 1 is nothing but adiabatic isentropic compression process. If you look at the line 4, 1 in the TS diagram, it is vertical. It means this process is isentropic, and at the same time it is the adiabatic process, and it is the process of compression. So process 4, 1 is nothing but the process of compression. Compression takes place during the process 4, 1. This compression is isentropic adiabatic compression. Let us analyze these 4 processes. Let us revise these 4 processes. Process 1, 2 is reversible isothermal heat addition. Process 2, 3 is reversible adiabatic isentropic expansion. Then process 3, 4 is reversible isothermal heat rejection, and process 4, 1 is reversible adiabatic isentropic compression. So these are the 4 processes in the Carnot cycle, which is nothing but a reversible cycle, which is an ideal cycle, which is not a practical cycle, but it is referred because the practical cycles, if they are made close to the Carnot cycle, then their performance is maximum, because the performance of Carnot cycle is itself maximum. So Carnot cycle is used as a reference cycle. Now let us again try to analyze the Carnot cycle. Process 1-2 is reversible isothermal heat addition. So how much is the heat added? The heat added during process 1-2, that is QS, is equal to the entropy Ts when the heat is supplied, and change in entropy S2 minus S1. So heat supplied QS is equal to Ts. Ts is nothing but the temperature at which heat is supplied, and S2 and S1, these are the entropies at the end of the process 1-2, and S1 is the entropy at the beginning of the process 1-2. Now process 2-3, we have seen that it is a reversible adiabatic isentropic expansion. Isentropic expansion means S2 is equal to S3. Process 3-4 is reversible isothermal heat rejection. So heat is rejected during the process 3-4. How much quantity of heat rejected? That is QR. So QR is equal to TR. TR is nothing but the temperature at which heat is rejected. Heat is rejected at constant temperature TR, and there is change in entropy. So entropy change is S3 minus S4. S3 is the entropy at the beginning of the process 3-4, and S4 is the entropy at the end of the process 3-4. So this equation can be written. Then the last final process is 4-1, that is reversible adiabatic isentropic compression. So during this process the entropy remains constant, therefore we can write S4 is equal to S1. Now the net work during this cycle will be equal to QS minus QR. So QS is the heat supplied, QR is nothing but the heat rejected. So the net work during this cycle is nothing but equal to QS minus QR. The work which is obtained during this cycle, the net work which is obtained during this cycle is equal to QS minus QR. Now what about the efficiency? Efficiency is nothing but output upon input. So what is the output of this process? Output of the Carnot cycle is the work W. We are obtaining mechanical work W, which is equal to QS minus QR. And what is the input? Input is nothing but the heat supplied. Output W means the desired output. In this process, in this cycle, Carnot cycle, desired output is the mechanical work W, and whatever we are supplying, whatever we are paying to obtain this work W is nothing but the heat QS which we are supplying, so that we can obtain the work W. So W is the output and QS is the input. Output upon input is the efficiency. So we have seen that W is equal to QS minus QR. So we replace W by QS minus QR. So we get QS minus QR upon QS, and we can just change the form of this equation, and we can write it as 1 minus QR upon Q1. Now let us go ahead and try to analyze this equation. We have seen that QS is equal to TS into S2 minus S1, QR is equal to TR into S3 minus S4. Also we have seen that S2 is equal to S3 and S4 is equal to S1. Now from these equations we get that QR is equal to TR S2 minus S1, and QS is equal to TS also S2 minus S1. Why? Because S3 is equal to S2 and S4 is equal to S1, or S1 is equal to S4. So we can just replace this S3 by S2, and we can also replace the S4 by S1. so that we can obtain these two equations. QR is equal to TR into S2 minus S1 and QS is equal to TS S2 minus S1. Already we are having this equation. So these equations we substitute here in the equation of efficiency. So when we substitute these two equations in the equation of efficiency, and ultimately finally we get 1 minus TR into TS. Efficiency is equal to 1 minus TR upon TS. So this can be just change the form of the equation as TS minus TR divided by TS. So the Carnot efficiency depends on the temperature only. You can see that it is equal to TS minus TR divided by TS. So what is TS? TS is nothing but the temperature at which heat is supplied, and TR is nothing but the temperature at which heat is rejected. So TS is the higher temperature, TR is the lower temperature. So this formula TS minus TR upon TS is equal to Carnot efficiency is applicable only for the Carnot cycle. So therefore it is written Carnot efficiency, not efficiency of any engine. Efficiency of the Carnot engine or the Carnot efficiency only is equal to TS minus TR divided by TS. So that is about the Carnot cycle.